It's 94.9 the city, hottest radio station in the streets, and you tuned in with your little brother Peazo Bam Wham. Today, I have a very special guest. I'm gonna do the introduction real quick. You know what I'm saying? You might have seen a video Zika, cause that was like the first thing I seen. I seen a bunch of bad females sitting on the couch in the desert, and I was like, wow. And you might have caught on the Boiler Room with DJ Hourglass, cause I did. It was a big shocker. I didn't expect to see folk minds so deep in there. You might have heard of music on HBO. I don't know, but I was like, whoa, is that? You know what I'm saying? Or you might have seen it around the city. Without further ado, let's give it up for Cherele.
Hey,
how you doing?
Y'all?
How you doing?
I'm great. Feeling good.
What you doing in the city?
Oh, so I got a show. I'm headlining a show tomorrow night.
Okay.
Deadlink Click. Shout out to them. They got me.
And how does it feel being back here?
It feels really great, to be honest. I haven't performed in the city in a couple of years.
When was the last time you performed?
I think it was like 2014. 2015.
When did you leave the city?
I left in 2013, 2014. I moved to Miami.
You know, that's like the cusp of like when the scene started like developing.
I know. I noticed that.
Like I was I was still in high school like around 2014, 2015. And that's when everybody started coming out with like interviewing and like DJs started coming out. I was like, wow, there's so much talent around here.
Yeah.
So it's like, dang, you ain't really get to experience that.
No, it was a different scene. I was in pay up at the time. So we were just doing like our own thing and throwing our own events, and it was hard. There wasn't anybody really doing anything like that.
Right. So what was like the scene like for you as far as like trying to get your music out there?
Back then?
Yeah,
it was just a whole different, it was super independent, super guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
But people would come out. So
like
we did notice
with CDs and stuff.
Kind of, but it's just like, it's like passing out flyers, you know, like that old school method. But honestly, we started noticing that people were craving a scene out here because there was, nothing like that. It was only one type of music maybe coming out of Fort Myers where you
what was that
attract to. It was, it was like
that
Plies, which is I totally fuck with, but it's like, can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay, man. Anyways, okay. But yeah, I totally fuck with that sound, but we were doing something different, and it was, very indie. So we did notice that a lot of people were coming out. We sold out shows out here too. So yeah.
So like, I'm pretty much new to the pay-up game. Like all my OGs been telling me about pay-up game.
Yeah.
And it's like, what was that? Was that a collective, a group? Or?
It was a collective. So it was a collective of friends. Andre and Jay started it when they were in high school. I got added a couple years down the road.
Okay.
But it became like a big collective of friends. So we had fashion. Rod had like Elephant Inc.
Okay.
So we had fashion, we had music, we had producers all in house. So we were doing everything in house. Videos,
so like, what
traveling.
was your role?
I was a rapper, doing my 1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I looked at your old videos and I see like the big difference. So it's like, what was like your style back then, like coming up?
To me, I was trying to find my sound, and I was raised out here, so it's like I wanted to stick out because I had a lot of different influences. So I was just trying to grasp that straws, to be honest. I was just, whatever sticks against the wall, I'm gonna go with. So I went through phases. Like if you really go back, you can even hear my accent, even my flow is like different. Like I started to get in a different pocket as
it was like super hip hop, like
super hip hop. Yeah, for sure. And then we started experimenting. Lemieux, one of the in-house producers, who's still my producer now of Pay Up. We started. He's fire, but he has a lot of different influences in his life. He's Colombian, so he started showing me different sounds and everywhere, and I was
like
really,
where the elevation comes in.
I started getting really inspired, so I started to branch out and go from there. Yeah. I wanted to be global.
And that makes me wonder, like, when did you know that you had to make that change? Because I feel like when you were in that pay-up game, it's low-key like that, and I could be completely wrong, but it felt vulnerable. It felt like the girl trying to find herself, who's trying to, like, hold her own in a group full of men, because it's like you was the only female in that too.
I totally.
And it's like, listening to your music now, it's like, it's well polished. It's like you know what you're doing, and it's like structured like so professionally. It's like hard to think that you came out of the city.
Yeah, I know, and it's crazy. But that shift, I think, was a personal shift in my life, because at the time, right before I moved to Miami, I was just getting into a lot of fuck shit in the city, to be real. I'm from here, and like I was getting lost in shit.
So like, what age did you leave the city? Like, what age were you?
I was 22, 23.
Okay, so like so were you in college? Did you go to college?
I went to USF for a year and dropped out.
Okay.
And then I came back and actually enrolled in the FGCU, and I was there for like 3 months and walked out.
Okay, so you kind of like stayed.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop out.
I was almost a dropout, to be honest, but
Yeah.
I just got back into school. I'm at FSW now.
Where are you?
I'm at FSW.
Oh, tight. Yeah. My sister just.
So you just got back into it?
I just got back into school.
What made you want to do that?
I felt like what major I was going to at USF and FGCU, which is like psychology, sociology. I didn't find. I was like, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be in like an art school or learn about my field. So right now I'm in Berkeley College of Music for music business. Yeah,
that's real music college.
Yeah, real music college. Yeah, so I was like, I want to be like in the best in the country.
Right.
And fuck it.
And it's like you learning the business there too.
Exactly. So that's what was my goal, especially being a woman in the industry. I just always want to be ahead because you get tested. So I want to have the knowledge on top of the talent to navigate.
So when did you start thinking like that? Because I don't think you was in that headspace in pay-up game. It felt like you was trying to develop like just being an artist, period.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't. I think when I kind of separated myself and moved away from the city and even from pay-up, because they stayed in Fort Myers.
Right.
I started focusing on myself as a woman and like wanting to grow and grow up and what do I really want out of life.
Right.
And I started to take things way more seriously, actually. I feel like I had distractions back in the city that were holding me back from just tuning in and
like what though? Like what's like distraction in Fort Myers?
I mean,
I feel like a lot of people would go through it.
At that time period, we're talking about 2013 to 2015 period, right? 2014. There was just a slowness in the city where, you kind of get caught in a loop, and there's a lot of violence out here. I had cousins killed, you know what I'm saying, uncles arrested. So I was kind of like,
you was like, I gotta get out the way.
Yeah, I was getting caught up in the streets too. I was at that time, right before I moved to Miami, I was living in Dunbar, and like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just gotta get caught. You just kind of get caught up in that mentality of just, it's cool. I don't want to really go.
That's actually interesting. Like, what you think like the mentality of someone from Dunbar is? Because a lot of people don't know, and it's like they just cast their own misconstrues about it. But it's like you someone from it, so like, what would you say that is?
It's a survival mentality. So, and it's trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't really think about the rest of the world. You're only thinking about the city for real. Yeah. So like, I'm trying to stun on you in my city way. I'm trying to get it my city way. Like it's a whole different mentality, and you gotta be on alert. So it's survival and sometimes retaliation. And then Dunbar is a very small community. Like the history goes back. Like that's why everyone knows each other's family history. Go back to Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? We all migrated here together. So it's like it gets that deep though when you dealing with family issues. You know what I'm saying? Somebody killed your cousin. Someone else's cousin killed their cousin. Now you got beef with two families. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it gets hectic.
To stay out the way.
It gets hard. So it was, and then it's just a survival thing. The pay is low out here with jobs. It gets,
So like, was college like your way to get out of the city? Like, what do you think was your escape route?
I think it was music. I mean, college. I was in an IB program at Fort Myers High actually. Okay. And I was a nerd. Yeah. So I was
at Fort Myers. I think like nerds and snobs. Yeah. I went to Fort Myers and it just wasn't the best experience for me.
True.
I don't know.
It can be snobby. I mean, I was like only one of 3 black kids out of 600 IB students.
Right, it was very low. So it felt like I wasn't getting enough money to be in high school.
But I was always great at academics. Right. So I was a nerd, but I always dealt with duality. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom and dad separated, but my mom lived one lifestyle, my dad lives another lifestyle. So I was always in between. I seen a lot of shit.
So you think that kind of like trained you for this? Like
absolutely
being able to see the both work? Like, are you mixed?
Yeah.
So like what is that like as far as like being there? Because it's like, okay, you come from the Dunbar world. Yeah. But is your mom from there too?
No, she's originally from New York, but she raised me in Lehigh. Okay. Before Lehigh's a Lehigh.
Before Lehigh's. Yeah. So it's like you kind of got a chance to like get out the city in the point of time.
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely. My mom had more money and when they separated, so she would bring us on trips. So I remember the first time, she's from New York, we went to New York. I think I was around 10. Okay. It was a life-changing experience. I didn't know people dressed like that. I didn't know people were on that energy of being fat. Myers, all I know is this. But she would always take us on trips every summer, and I think that helped me get out of that box that some people fall into when you're born and raised out here, right? So I definitely helped me, but it helps me move in. I feel like I can be in any room. You know what I'm saying? Like I can be I can be in a hood nigga room. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm from there too, or I could be polished and professional and corporate, and you know what I'm saying. So I feel like,
so it's like your background kind of molded you for all of this.
Yeah, for sure, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, in the city is like, when you growing up here, I felt like I was in a box for a point in time before I even thought about, like, you know, being here.
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't want to leave for college. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to be around my mom, to be honest. Like, I didn't want to leave because I felt like that's what I had to take care of, and she's stuck in the city. That's so, right. Like, what made you, like, so, you know what, not scared to, you know, travel? Like, because a lot of people in Fort Myers haven't, like, left Florida. And it seemed like you've been a couple places. Yeah,
for sure. I think on my own, after, you know, my family history or whatever, on my own wanting to seek more, it was just a personal thing. Since a kid, I just always felt like I was meant for bigger things, and I never knew what that meant growing up. But as I started getting in my 20s, I was like, I can do this, and you know, I want to be the generational shift in my family as well. So that's important because, you know,
I feel that.
My family is poor, Dunbar, like folks. Like I want to be able to be a representative and of my family as well, and be like, nah, we can do world things. It ain't just about the city. Like we can go anywhere, you know. So I think that motivated me to also leave and kind of like bring it back. That was always my thing.
So like, when did you feel that you seen progress? Like when you left the city, what was like your first like moment where you was like, okay, this might have been the best idea?
So when I went to Miami, I didn't know anybody. Like real shit, I didn't know anybody. But I started.
And that's like a hard city to get started in, because it's like Miami already got their scene.
They already got their scene. But I started targeting key people that I admired. They were mostly women, like leaders out there, because actually the women lead shit in Miami.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Promoters, like, so that was beautiful to me.
Like the scene like that?
Yeah, so I started targeting like women promoters and going to their events, and then I started performing out there, and then people's responses were so much love that I was like, oh, I'm not just like confined to Fort Myers.
Right.
You know, people actually fuck with me, and these people are international. These people are from different countries. You know, all that. So it started giving me confidence. Miami gave me confidence that I could be in any room, in any scene, and my music's going to get love. I'm going to get love. And I started creating like friends off of the scene. Off of that, me and Kanji are still friends to this day because of that.
I want to get into her because I feel like she's an important person.
Yeah.
But when you got to the Miami scene, like, did you find an open mic? Like what was your first like thing to
like
do? Like as far as like you don't?
No, I think I wouldn't say they're pointless. I feel like it gives people a platform, but it's not a big enough platform. Right. You're not really gonna, you know, discovering someone at an open mic is so 1995. But at the same
that's real shit.
But at the same time, so what I was targeting was like they have really cool events out there. It's the Void, Norma used to do events out there. Ashley Outrageous. Then yes, Jules slid down to Miami, started doing things out there. So it was like those events that I would go to and be like, okay, these are the people that I need to bump elbows with, and everyone needs to know who Cherele is. And I started, and that's what happened. I started being in those circles and working besides them, because I was doing I was promoting shows out there as well. So I started promoting shows. I did I'm the first one to book Father in Miami. I did a Awful Records block party. You know, 12lin was out there. 12lin's dad let me.
Shout out 12lin.
Yo, shout out to 12lin.
Ain't the game, you know.
12lin's dad let me use, you know, his pickup truck to make a stage out of. Like, it was very organic.
So you got really rooted, like.
I got really rooted in Miami's
so
indie
like
scene,
after you got into the Miami indie scene, like what was next? Like
exactly. So exactly. That's another reason why I moved from there. It was I had just dropped Paradise Lost, my album.
I wanted to talk about that. I feel that. What was like the inspiration behind that? Let's just skip all that. Like,
oh yeah, we can skip. Fort Myers. Yeah. Paradise Lost is literally my story.
All right, so I was listening to Timing, right?
Yeah.
And then I heard like you had a couple bars, and I was like, bro, this got to be like talking about Fort Myers. Yeah. It was something about like, I don't want to butcher the quote, but it was about like the city streets or something like that. It was like one of the first few lines in Timing, and I was like, this got to be about the city.
No, that whole tape is about Fort Myers.
So what does the title mean?
So basically, you know where we live. We live in paradise, right? But
for the old people.
Yeah, old people, palm trees, beaches. It's beautiful. But also there's so much out. It's duality, right? So that's a big theme of mine. So there's a lot of situations and things you can get into out here that are gonna lead you down another path.
Right.
And my experience struggling with maybe knowing what's quote unquote right to do, but saying fuck it because the city in me, and I'm like, I'm like,
I feel that.
And that's what that whole tape is about. Literally, like, it's just about my experience. So when I went to Miami, I gotta to be by myself and think about all these experiences that shaped me, and then I created that album off of that.
Yeah, that sounds like it was like a, bro, to be honest, it sounded like it was a soundtrack to like an inspirational ass movie that just came out, like a breakthrough type of thing.
Yeah.
And so it was this one song like Chanel. How did that happen? My Chanel.
Oh, my channel. Yeah.
Oh, my channel. My bad.
No,
I'm tripping.
It's okay. So basically around 2014, Pay Up, we started traveling back and forth to Atlanta, because shout out to Xavier Black, great friend of mine.
I seen him on the Hourglass thing, right?
Yeah, that's his clique.
Okay.
But he's originally from New York, but I met him in Fort Myers. He was a DJ out here, and he met us when we were like 19, and he just like believed in us, and me and him became really good friends. So he moved to Atlanta,
right? And
he was always like, you gotta get, I'm managing this new crew called Awful Records, and I feel like y'all would mesh. So we started traveling back and forth, and we would stay in East Atlanta, West Atlanta, and I started getting into the Atlanta scene with them. So my channel is about my experience. Like, oh damn, I'm gonna slide to like Atlanta real quick and fuck with these people.
The fact you able to do that.
Exactly. And then Fat, Father, he's a really good friend of mine. So I was like, yo, I need you on this, I'll need you on this song. And that's how it came together. But it's a vibe. Like, I really like that song.
How did you link with Father?
It was through Xavier, because Xavier at the time was managing Awful Records.
Okay.
And so that was it. We met. He shot a video. OG Ron C, Pay Up Games video. He directed and shot it for us.
I asked that question because like it brings me to this question. Like, what do you think is more important, like networking or just building relationships? Because I feel like it's a difference.
Aren't
between
they the same thing? Oh, you think there's a difference?
I feel like it's a difference because when you networking, it's like, I feel like networking is like, I'm going to find this person that has this mutual interest that I can benefit from. Yeah. And I feel like building a relationship is like, I honestly don't give a fuck what you can do for me. I just fuck with you as a person. That's how I look at it. Am I wrong?
When you explain it like that, I think you're dead on. Me personally, I think building a relationship takes you way further anywhere than just networking. And that's what I've always done. Like, I've known people that are in the industry for years, and the thing about our industry is fast moving.
Right. Super fast.
So it's like Father at the time was, really behind the camera and behind, he was doing behind the scenes and da-da-da-da, but then he became a superstar within a year.
Right.
A year of me, like, no, like, I watched it, like,
with that wrist video.
So that was, we were fucking with him before that. Yeah. But there's relationships that you build. Xavier, there's so many people that are part of my circle that I consider my friends. Right. But that has taken me further because I build genuine ass relationships and surround myself with people that I align with on multiple levels. So it's not some fake shit.
So what do you think, like, having a successful circle would do for you? Because like some people, I ain't gonna lie, some people that I know from the city that are like, they see all these people that's around them being successful and they kind of like feel small, like they go to hating rather than being like,
that's a personal thing, man. Right. You got those are insecurities you gotta deal with. You ask yourself those hard questions why you feel that way. Because you should always keep people that are either bigger than you around you or smarter, learn from, or but what was the question? I'm sorry.
It's like just having successful friends. What did that do for you? Like, is it like a learning experience, or is it like more so like you get moves from that? Like,
both, a mixture of both. More so, I feel like a learning experience, because I definitely learn and grow from my friends, and I see moves they've made and stuff. But when they can, they'll help me out. But I'm not like looking for a handout at all. But when it happens and it aligns, they got my back.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So like how do you go about like them? Like, I'm thinking about like moves being made, right? Yeah. And a friend just did this, a friend just did that. Do you ever feel like in competition, like trying to keep up, not in a negative way, like, oh, I need to be better than this person, but just trying to keep up with, like, they working hard, I'm trying to stay on that level of work ethic that they have? I
wouldn't say that would be competitive in my perspective. It would be more inspiring. I get inspired by that, right. I get inspired by my friends doing Asia tours and,
Nah, that's hard.
Yeah, I'm just like, yo, I need to be in Asia. That's crazy. Hell yeah, let's so far. Yeah. So it's more so about being inspired by people that are around me. And I think that's very important to keep people around you that inspire you, you know, to do bigger.
That makes me want to know, like, what inspires your music as far as, like, what did you grow up listening to? Because when I hear your music now, it's like, well, compared to, like, the Pay Up thing, it was, like, super rappy and it was hip-hop. And now it's more like a new age. I'm not trying to compare you or anything, but it's like a new age Missy Elliott. It got that funk, like, that feel-good dance music to it.
Yeah.
So it's like, what inspired that shift?
Well, growing up, I definitely came from two different worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom was more into pop music, so she really put me onto, like, Madonna and Mariah Carey, things like that.
And what was Dad listening to?
Huh?
What was Dad listening to?
It was, my dad was, my dad was, hey, man.
He was thugging.
My dad's like NWA, Ice Cube, Pac, you know, always thugging. My dad is, you know, GD fucking OG. He's always listening to that. So there was that. Then my brother was always like, he had, you know, the pulse of hip hop. So at the time he was listening to, you know, Biggie and Pac, Eminem, things like Wayne. My brother put me on Wayne and Hot Boys when I was like 8. And that's kind of set things off. I think moving forward, when I was trying to condense my sound, me and Peter Lemieux, really wanted to, I wanted to keep it Florida, and I wanted to keep it like Miami bass, like Florida, like juke, like stick, you know, music, things I used to listen to in high school, you know, like Fast 954 shit.
Right.
I would listen to that. I wanted to keep that and then blend it with his world of what he likes and influences.
Oh, so it was like a mix. It was like something new for you as far as
absolutely. It was brand new, and I was just really open to it at the time because Lemieux had tried to make me have that shift, but I didn't understand those sounds. But as I got older, I started really liking that, and then we blended both of our worlds together. You know. Yeah.
So you got a new project coming out.
Yes, I got a mixtape coming out.
What is it called?
It's called Give 'Em Hell.
Give 'Em Hell.
Yeah.
So what can we expect now? Like.
Yeah.
Through your whole transition, I feel like every time you drop something, it's just an elevation.
Yeah.
So like, what can we expect with this one?
Yo, I really feel like I'm in high school again, and that's dangerous for a lot of people.
That's very dangerous for me.
That's dangerous.
I got dangerous. A lot in high school.
Yeah, cause I always wanted to be the best rapper alive, and I'm back in that pulse.
You're in your bag.
I'm in my bag right now, so I'm rapping for real, and me and Lemieux moving forward are gonna continue to like balance that sound. So it's gonna be pretty much the same that I was releasing, but on another elevated level.
Okay.
You know, so it's gonna be Florida based for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
With just your twist on it.
With my twist. Yeah.
And do we have a release date for that?
Yeah, Give 'Em Hell is gonna be October 7th.
Okay, so we coming soon, October 7th.
Yeah.
And what we got going on in the city? Let them know.
Yeah. So what is it gonna be today? Well, yeah.
I'm gonna drop this 26. Tomorrow because I ain't gonna lie to y'all. People be saying we live.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it real. We from the city. We keeping it real. We dropping this bit tomorrow.
Right.
So yeah. You get mad at me, Jay. Okay.
September 26th.
Right.
7 p.m. Also Brewing. I'm headlining Deadly Click. You know, free cover, free food. You in there. You in there.
Come on, stop playing.
It don't even matter. What? You in there. You gotta come. You
free
gotta
food.
Come.
Stop playing.
Free food and free cover. Exactly.
And what can we expect you to perform?
Ooh, so I'm gonna do unreleased things. I'm gonna do unreleased things. I'm gonna do previously released things, and I'm also gonna do older things. You know, Paradise Lost. I'm gonna get into that back too. So yeah, definitely gonna keep it Fort Myers though.
Well, I appreciate you for coming through the city.
Thank you.
I don't know if you noticed how nervous I was. I was trying to keep my cool.
Not at all. You good.
But I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah.
We got Cherele in the mix. 94.9 the city, hottest radio station in the streets, bitch.
Hey.